Okay, hello. I think we are ready to start. Let we do some check-ins first. The sounds good, image good, light good. Okay, let's start. Okay, so yeah, in this stream, I want to do an exploration of the tools available for developers in the WordPress Playground ecosystem, because I think we can call it an ecosystem because there are a lot of tools, a lot of repositories and initiatives that are built on top of this technology. So yeah, I would like to have a look at some of them. And a good starting point is the documentation for developers that let me see. There it is. So yeah, I think we can start just having a look at the documentation and start testing a few things. So in the developer docs, we have a quick start guide for developers. And here we can see that in any web page, we can insert an iframe with the web instance. I don't know if there is an official name for this. I used to call this the WordPress instance, but this is the URL that provides you very quickly with Playground instance and also the UI to customize that instance. So you can change the version, PHP version, language. Some you can have access to the logs here, and also you have here access to the blueprints gallery. And the blueprints gallery is this project. WordPress Playground gallery. Yeah, this is the post. So the blueprints gallery is a compilation of blueprints that can be used with the Playground. It's a catalog samples that we can use, and this is one of the APIs mentioned here. So in Playground APIs, we have the query API, we have the blueprints, and we have the JavaScript API. So for those that are not familiar, let's check very quickly what a blueprint is. A blueprint is a JSON that allows us to define the settings of the WordPress installation we are going to launch via Playground. In order to do that, we have several properties. There is, in the documentation, it has like its own hub, its own documentation hub, and here we can see a tutorial, and this is the format. So there are like several root properties, but then I think the most important one is steps. We can define, for example, the PHP version, WordPress version in the same way that we were doing here. We can also set some features, but the most interesting part is that we can define some steps, some actions that are going to be triggered when the Playground instance is initiated. And all the steps are defined here. So we have this API, the Blueprints API, then we have the Query API, and the Query API allow us to launch. For example, here we can use the Query API to say, okay, I want this instance to install this plugin. So via query parameters, we can also start the WordPress instance with some initial settings. So what type of things we can define via query parameters? This is explained here. So here we have all the options. For example, we can pass the URL of a blueprint that is posted online anywhere. We can, as we just did, we can set some plugins to be installed in the WordPress instance. We can get logged automatically. Multi-site, we can import content directly, the language. Here we have the default values. So, for example, language, try to language yes. So yeah, I have here a Spanish installation of WordPress. What else? We can load a specific Gutenberg PR or a specific core PR. And if a stored site missing, let me see what's this. Indicates how to handle the scenario where the site slack parameter identifies a site that does not exist. If a stored site missing equal prompt to indicate that the user should be asked whether they would like to save a new site with the specified site slack. I don't really understand what's this for. Why do we need? Because maybe it's here. Site slack selects which site to load from browser storage. Okay. If I understand this correctly, this has to do with the fact that we can save. Yeah, because when this project started, there wasn't really a way to store the site from the browser. But in this last version, we have a temporary playground, but we can, for example, this one that it has this plugin and this language, we can save it, and it's stored here. I don't know if we change the name. No, we can't change the name, but this selects which site to to load from browser storage. So the slack is this one, and I can close this. And then because it's stored locally, I guess local storage or something like that, then anytime I can access to this Playground site stored locally. Let me check location. Where is this stored? I guess this is stored in the browser somewhere. Okay, data user. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure where this is stored, but yeah, in the browser somewhere, and then we can access this site. If I can find this. No. Session storage. No. Okay, not sure where this is. Let me see if in the documentation. I guess in the documentation, Playground web instance, save. So we can download as a zip, and then we can restore from a zip. Single browser session. Yeah, it's stored in the session. I don't know, maybe cookies, maybe via but anyway, we have these query params to define the settings of the WordPress instance we want to launch with Playground. So we have blueprints, we have query params, and then we have the JavaScript API, which is the one I want to explore more in this session. So let's go to developers, let's go to the Playground APIs. We have the query API, the blueprints, and the JavaScript API. So let's read a little bit this documentation. So WordPress Playground in the browser, it is all about links and iframes. Regardless of which API you choose, you will use it in one of the following. Link to the Playground site. You can customize WordPress Playground by modifying the playground.wordpress.net link. You can, for example, create a post, request a specific plugin, or run any PHP code. To prepare such a link, use either the Query API or the JSON Blueprints API. So to create a post via Query API, I guess that we would need to pass a specific blueprint with that action. So I don't see here any specific option to define that action. So yeah, to request a specific plugin, there is a direct pattern we can use in the as a query pattern, but then also the blueprints has some properties, but also some steps to install plugins in different situations. Okay, but then we can also install a Playground in an iframe. So I'm going to open very quickly. Open a cursor window. Let's go to the terminal. Go to the terminal. And let's create a project. Take Playground browser exploration. And once you're there, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create index.html, and here nice. So yeah, we can leverage embedding. Embedding is a tool that allows you to quickly insert markup using some abbreviations, some shortcodes, but also cursor via its internal AI. It can also insert content. So we have this index.html, and what I'm going to do is to insert the iframe. The iframe here in the bottom, which means that I'm going to ask cursor to launch a simple server. Or maybe there is I don't need to install any specific package. I can use npx agent. No, ask which npm package I can use to quickly launch a local server for this index.html. Yeah, this one, npx HTTP server. So if we come here and we do, let's install it, and we have here. Okay, and now we need to set the dimensions of the iframe, but yeah, the first test is done. The iframe with %. Okay, let's check if there's any other example here. Yeah, we have. So what we can say is this, for example. We can establish these properties for the iframe. I don't know if I have. So we have fixed the width, but now we need to fix the. So can I use this property? It's b, and if I remember correctly, this would take the whole, like the, yeah, it's taking more than I want. So here, 8%. Okay, the width is 100% and the height, this. Yeah, more or less. Okay, let's do more or less this works. We have here our iframe. Now we can access via JavaScript API. So we have the iframe, we have an ID to select the iframe, and now what we can do is to script module. This will load this client. Nice. So this is published already. This client is available. So we can load this, and we have a start playground, but let's do something. Let's see what do we have available here. So client, playground client, and then I'm going to say const called client, no, playground client, but I want to console log playground client. Open the console. The request module does not provide an export named default. So, okay, so I cannot do this. I need to do this. Yeah. Module, and here we have all the properties available in that object, and the one we are destructuring here is okay, so the one we are destructuring here is start playground.web, but we can do all these things. Nice, nice. And this is documented. We go. Okay, let's go to the JavaScript API. So, to use the JavaScript API, you'll need an iframe and the client from npm or a CDN. And here's the shortest example. And okay, remote HTML is a special URL that loads the Playground API. Okay, in our example, what we can do is this will load remote HTML. So remote HTML is a special URL that loads the Playground API endpoint instead of the demo app with the browser UI. Read more about the difference between this and this. Here. Playground.wordpress.net exposes two distinct APIs to separate HTML files. Remote. Here's an overview of the functions. So index.html, this is what Playground API client control the endpoint that is remote HTML. The query API is exclusively provided by index.html, independent of the WordPress Playground JavaScript API. The JavaScript API is exclusively provided by remote.html. Only that file can be used as an endpoint for the Playground client class. Okay. So remote HTML renders WordPress and also exposes an API for developers to control. So that means that if we do here index.html, we won't be able to do this operation. Playground client. Okay. Playground client. Then here I'm going to console log client. Yeah, so we cannot do this operation. Invalid remote URL. Expected remote URL to have a path of remote HTML based on one of the following origins: localhost. So in order to control programmatically a Playground instance, we need to import the client and then use the start Playground web method to provide an iframe to load the Playground instance and also a remote URL, because this remote URL, I don't know if we can open this directly. Okay, what does this elements? name ID. Okay, we reload this. But anyway, there's some logic here to expose this. I don't know exactly how this works, but we need to load this this. So remote HTML runs and renders WordPress and also exposes an API for developers to control it. Importantly, remote HTML does not render any UI elements, as we just saw, such as browser UI or version switchers. It's just WordPress. Okay, so the index.html uses WordPress Playground API client to control the endpoint that is remote HTML. Okay. The primary functions of remote HTML are loading the suitable version of PHP-WASM, the WebAssembly build of PHP. Okay, I'm curious about this. So, Playground, remote HTML, network, sources, okay, so there are like some web workers here. Here we have, okay, so it opens a page with some web workers. Inside those web workers, it's PHP-WASM and Playground. Loading the suitable version of PHP-WASM, loading the correct version of WordPress for user interaction, initiating PHP in a web worker, and registering a service worker for HTTP requests. So service worker, worker. This is service worker. Listening to the message event from the parent window and executing the appropriate code command. So again, the service worker is like its whole JavaScript environment, completely isolated from the main thread, and the way to communicate with that web worker is via messages. Okay, that last part is how the public API works. The parent window index.html sends a message to the iframe remote HTML with a command and arguments, and the iframe then executes that command and sends the result back with another. Sending messages is cumbersome, so the Playground client class provides an object-oriented API that handles the messages internally. For quick testing and debugging, remote HTML also exposes the JavaScript API client as Playground. So if I load this, window Playground, okay, this is loaded here. So we have here a window Playground. Window Playground. I wait playground these files. How can I access the properties of this playground object? Prototype, maybe? Okay, because this is playground. Give it prototype. Playground is a class instance in this context, and you will benefit from browser's auto-compilation. Okay, here's the thing. We have, I think this has to do with this remote. We need to then yeah. So what was the list files? List file. So if we come here, playground dot this. No, so it's in this iframe. But so this is an instance, and this is a proxy. Okay, so here I cannot see these files, but it must be somewhere. Okay, on message, this seems to be the API to communicate with the service port. Okay, index.html is an independent app built around remote HTML using the WordPress Playground API class. It renders the browser UI, version selectors, and renders WordPress by embedding remote HTML via an iframe. UI features like an address bar or a version selector are implemented by communicating with remote HTML using Playground class. And we have like a very simple version that index.html monitors the query parameters it receives and triggers the appropriate Playground client message. Okay. I understand. Index, I understand. And that's why the query API is exclusively provided by index.html, because this is the one that reads the query arguments. Okay, so let's create here a little diagram. Okay, so we have remote.html, and then we have index.html. So whenever we do Playground, WordPress, and for example this or this, if we call index with this, if we call it like this, internally index is going to via the Playground client. And then this is this, but this is also this is an iframe. So here, this, here, so yeah, something like this when we access using the query API. Is the index the one that parse the query arguments and transform that into the proper request to the internal iframe that loads remote.html, and via the Playground client it loads this HTML captures the query params, and then via this code we have client and we have access to it. So let me check client here. So we load this. Okay, we have here Playground client with start Playground web, and this allows us to do different things. But then the client itself is this, is a proxy, and okay, let me ask Cursor how to access the properties of this proxy. Client is a proxy. I'm going to do client is a proxy. And provide access to methods such as is ready. But I cannot see the list of available properties from the console. Is there any way I can list these properties? Methods available in the client object. Great question. When you interact with with a JavaScript proxy, standard property enumeration methods often do not reveal the full set. However, you can try the following approaches to list the available properties. This will show you the own properties, but with a proxy, this may still be limited by the handler straps. Well, let's move on. Maybe in the implementation we can put information somewhere. For quick testing and debugging, index.html also exposes. I think in the documentation there was, let me see, documentation, links and resources. What was this? Developers. Okay, so know that the index.html Playground is a proxy object and you won't get any completion. Remote.html, however, Playground does exist and you will benefit from browsers autocomplete. So, if we come here, here's the thing. Playground.wordpress.net is a combination of iframes, one inside the other, and we can see here how, for example, the top screen, it has access to all the extensions, but then there is an iframe, and we can see here the ID, and that affects what we can get access to from the console. So here, Playground, remote.html, but then if we go inside, let's see what we get. Playground. Okay, playground is not defined here. But if we come here, let's see, get playground. It's also not defined here. We have here the service worker. So no, it's in this iframe, remote HTML, playground. And we have access to some properties here. And get current URL. Okay, let's try this. Async. So let's do await playground dot get current URL. Okay, and then we can say go to copy links address. So we can say go to, and I'm going to say okay, nice. So yeah, there are a few interesting methods here. I still don't see these files. These files was available here. So let me see these files. PHP worker PHP. KD. I think that environment. Okay, so this is, there is another list files. PHP worker. I think it's this. Okay, so we have all these methods available from the PHP worker, a PHP client that can be used to run PHP code in the browser. So, if I understand properly, somehow this playground object extends this PHP worker, so it has also access to this. So we can say, for example, maybe say whoops. So maybe we can say await playground these files. Open this here, list files, but then we can also check is there. Let's check if there is a we can move inside this folder and then we can list files. So we can maybe change dir. And we say await playground dot. Maybe we can then no list files navigate? How can I navigate using this? Is there internal URL to path file exists? Is this file files PHP message? List files, we have PHP worker and we have list files. Okay, so we cannot navigate, but we can list files for a specific. What we can do here is, instead of say directly WordPress, and here we have we can also check the content of this. Oh, this is interesting, because if we apply a blueprint, we can directly check the content of these files. And okay. Playground client. It has a start playground web, loads playground in iframe and returns a playground client in. And here we have the options we can use for the start playground. And we have used iframe and remote URL. Iframe and remote URL. But we can also use a blueprint. Interesting. We can also use mounts. I'm wondering how this works in the browser. We can launch some actions before the blueprint steps run. Okay. Let's continue with our exploration. We were here. The Playground client object implements the universal PHP interface. All the methods from that interface are also available in Node.js. Broadly speaking, you can use the client to perform 3 types of operations: running PHP code, customizing PHP, and managing files and directories. The 2 methods you can use to run PHP code are run and request. Now we can make an HTTP request to the website. In Node.js, you can also use the CLI method to run PHP in a CLI mode. Okay, the run method and the request method serves the request. Okay, so here I have the client, but this PHP Playground API client. So request handler document. PHP. Do I have this PHP load available in? Here, PHP. No. If we go to remote, PHP, no, but playground dot load. Okay. So I can say const PHP equal playground load. Okay, so I need to do can I do this? Write file directly from playground. Okay, this is not clear, and what I'm going to do is to open let's go to WordPress Playground, and let's go to issues, and let's open issue playground documentation, playground API client. And let's explain that. Add playground page. Okay. The example, the code example, add the code example at doesn't clarify how to get the PHP from where to get the PHP object in the browser. In JavaScript API page, at the JavaScript API page, is clear that you need to import the playground method from example, okay. And also we can say that Playground API, the run method and the request method. Also, under running code, also under running PHP code, run method, there are two subsections. But the run method Okay, for those who don't know, Philippe is a developer relations specialized in WordPress Playground, so you can pick him for any documentation. He'll manage how to get this done. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so the client object provides you with a low-level API universal PHP interface. Okay, one thing that we can do is let's do WordPress Playground, and let's do deep wiki, and let's ask directly about this. So I can ask from where do I get this PHP object in the browser? Do I need to load any specific file? It's missing this. WebAssembly. Okay, so yeah. So we need to WebAssembly PHP for the web. Okay, so how can I load this in the browser? Let's ask. How should I load this package from an HTML page? Is there any version from a CDN I can directly import? No, but okay. No, okay. The examples in the code base consistently show it being used with bundlers. Okay. Can you quickly scaffold a bundler so I can implement type of code. I need to be able to okay, we can use Vite. Okay, go ahead. Do your magic. Why it's doing this? Okay, stop. Yes, but do it in the current form. It's using Vite by default. I guess that Webpack not friendly anymore. npm install Vite. Okay, it's installing these two packages. Okay, nice. So it creates an SRC folder. It moves the index.html. It creates the main JavaScript file. I guess it's going to move. Okay, very good, but okay, so we have the iframe, it's loading the main.js. Here. Now, what I can do is npm root npm root. No loader is configured for that file. What is this? What is this? Does not know how to handle the PHP-WASM pattern. You need to tell Vite how to handle that files. Install the static. You need to tell Vite how to handle that files. The easiest way is to use the Vite plugins that are going to copy these files to your output directory and then patch the input so it goes there. Okay. So we define a config, we use a specific plugin for Vite that manages that, patch the import for overwriting your code. So we have with the config, destination assets. Okay, this is something unexpected. PHP-WASM web. If we can get an example of this package ships WebAssembly. Okay, so this package WebAssembly for the web. So PHP-WASM web, the package PHP-WASM 1028. npm ls and if we come here, PHP-WASM web 120, and if we come here, Okay, so this is the latest version. Let's see if here there's some lines. Yeah. Open last week. Oh. So PHP was now ship an additional static file for existing build setup struggles to serve. Actually, beta supports loading WASM files by default, so statements like import from WASM model URL. How do I? Okay, so yeah, this is an issue. This is an issue that is support static files. Downstream builds will since they are using beta. Error. Okay, let's say let's try to leverage cursor okay, this here you have an explanation of the issue. Is there any work around? Is there any temporal program we can use to avoid this error? Okay, let's try to do the post install. I'm going to get theme. Here I'm going to copy this. Copy this. And then here I put post this. Okay, so let's try this. Clear remove the node modules folder, the package log, and run npm install. And after that, we will run npm run dep. Just want to test this. So another cannot find module. Okay, because this is in the bin. Nice. And now let's do npm run dep. Yay! Okay, and we have this, the local host is not working with the config. I don't really need this. So I move this and run this again. Why do I get this on? Yeah, this may be the okay. Okay, so this code doesn't really work here. Okay, maybe we need to load this script type module. Script type module, so this is properly loaded as a module. And web.js PHP from universal. Okay, so WASM web. I think that I'm going to bet that both packages have the same version. Now I'm going to remove this and install this again. I don't think I need to wrap this in an async. Ready. In theory, I'm going to comment this const PHP is equal this, and maybe I can say console log. See what happens. npm run dev. So yeah, this is not working really well. I'm going to move on from this because this is well, there are open issues and so on. Okay, so let's continue. JavaScript API blueprints, JSON, and the API client. Okay, so what we can do indeed is to, let's go back to our let's go back to our previous version. I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to git init. Okay, we have this, and this. So I'm going to commit this. And then git checkout, a simple frame. Okay, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything like this, and I'm going to here is mpx And here in the console, I'm going to console log line. Okay, so here we have the client, and now let's try to add a blueprint. So for example, here another property that we can pass is directly a blueprint that can be the version, the PHP, and then some like the style a plugin. Actually prefer versions. Actually, I think we can do login true and plugins Gutenberg. So let's see. Downloading Gutenberg. Inspect the debug logs in the console for more. Downloading Gutenberg, it's loading. No, we have the same issue, so it's not a format issue. Let's open another issue. WordPress Playground. GitHub Playground. let's do one thing. Landing. So what I've done is I'm setting an initial landing page. Okay, admin password, but this login true should work. Okay, let's check the documentation. Playground, docs, blueprints, using blueprints, steps, shorthands, login through. So this should work, but let's see. This plugin does not work with your version of WordPress, because my version of WordPress is 6. Okay, do this and so the Gutenberg. Because the Gutenberg plugin requires the latest version of WordPress. WordPress.org plugins Gutenberg requirements. WordPress version 6.7 or higher. Yeah, okay. So we have the plugin, it's done activate. Nice. Perfect. So we can indeed blueprints functions and the API client. Every blueprint step you can declare in the JSON object also provides a handler function that can be used directly. Okay, so we can do once the client is ready, from the same instance, login, let's say as a Playground client, then a console log. Okay, and where's my console log? Is this one? I think it's this one. And we have indeed a step run SQL, run PHP, activate plugin, activate theme. install plugin, install theme, login. Yeah. So we have all these actions here. And zip update WPCLI. Write files. Okay. We have, and then mount data. Mount a directory from the browser. You can mount a directory from the browser to Playground using the Windows Show Directory Picker API. The browser compatibility for using. So Windows Show Directory Picker. Is a thing? No. But if I choose remote. No. Check the browser compatibility before using this API. Okay, I open this Chrome. Chrome, it exists, so let's open this in Chrome. Open this in Chrome. And what we can do is show directory picker, and I guess it could display a pop-up or something to select upload markdown. So I have here what I can do is, okay, let's do this directly. We are here, let's select this. Window show directory picker, then function directory handle window parent post message mode directory handle uploads markdown. Directory picker here. Cross origin sub. You can mount all PFS storage available within the browser as well. Under the hood, we sync the memory file system to OPFS at the end of every page. It's advisable to delay mounting of OPFS after boot as shown below, so that WordPress installation doesn't trigger a sync of over 3,000 files, slowing down the process. I don't know what OPFS storage is in the browser. Yes, storage browser. OPFS, Origin Private File System. The Origin Private File System is a storage endpoint provided as part of the File System API, which is private to the origin of the page and not visible to the user like the regular file system. It provides access to a special kind of file that is highly optimized for performance and offers in place great access to its content. I'm interested in opening this. Show open file on window. Okay, maybe I need to do this. Ah, nice. Okay, so can't open this folder because it contains system files. Okay, so let's folder demo folder, show open file. Good. Okay, my local page will be able to view files in demo folder show open file picker. Of my permission. And this has been mounted here. So now, remember that we saw a command to list files inside the Playground instance. We can leverage that with these files. Playground because this was also here we have launched previously playground.list files. These files. And these files. Developers. What was this in the launch? Like a debug, no trouble. Good. As in blueprints, troubleshoot and debug. Yeah, this is what I want to do in. And I'm going to. Playground is not defined because this is here. Okay, so nothing happened. But the thing is that I cannot run this here. Okay, I guess I need to do window parent post message. Not sure how this works. Show directory picker. Okay, I think it's time to go. Hello. Okay, so we are going to leave the session here. We've been exploring a little bit some features of Playground for developers, how to launch a local instance of Playground using the JavaScript API. I think that we've discovered a few interesting things. There's a lot more things to explore, so yeah, I would like to continue doing the streams covering this topic. Hope it's been useful for you. Anyway, it's going to be the recording of this session is going to be available in YouTube. So yeah, we'll have all of that there. And yeah, so yeah, have a great weekend and see you next week. Okay, bye.